Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still with you and the morning's edition of The Breakfast Show. Moving to more news, where the United States cast Israel-Lebanon talks held in Washington on Thursday as, quote, productive and positive. And a State Department official said more discussions aimed at ending their conflict are to continue on Friday. Senior Lebanese officials said earlier Lebanon will demand the U.S. ally Israel ceasefire in the face-to-face talks as Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah continue to trade blows despite the U.S.-backed truce declared last month. Also, officials said there was a full day of productive and positive talks which are to continue on Friday. And to shed more light about this, we're delighted to be joined over the telephone by our guest, Dr. Hassan Waguih, our international relations expert. Dr. Hassan, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for your time this morning. Now, what do you think about the latest wave of talks or meetings in Washington between the Lebanese and Israeli counterparts?
Yes, I think this negotiation, which the Israelis are calling negotiating under fire, I think the gap is so big between the two partners. And I think that the Lebanese are having an external power by relying mainly on the pressure by the President Trump, who really initiated the whole thing when he said his famous statement, enough is enough.
Yes.
Israel have to stop, ceasefire should be there, negotiation. So I think that the Lebanese government took that line and started out the process, hopefully, that they will come up with extending their sovereignty on their land, getting the people who really were displaced back to their places, implementing real ceasefire. But I think the Israelis are insisting on keeping the fire on.
Yes.
And this is the problem.
And this is indeed the problem, Doctor. We just saw the recent or latest wave of Israeli airstrikes. How does this signal, I mean, how does it work to have these airstrikes continue? Still, Israel's strategic objectives in Lebanon are ongoing, yet they claim that they are seated at the negotiation table.
Yes, I think that if you see the negotiators themselves, their orientation, you can predict what will happen. Hopefully, my analysis is wrong. I hope that peace will prevail. But you know, when you have the ambassador, the Israeli ambassador Yitchel, who really wrote a very interesting book to read, entitled "Peace to Resist." And that was 1993. And he is hawkish. And you have on the other side Mr. Karam, who is a diplomat, who is a legal person, who is believing in international law. So you think that the orientation and the stances of the two negotiators are very different. And I hope they will come up with something. But again, American pressure and international pressure should be there.
Yes.
Because without this pressure, Israel continues to have this one-way ticket in the negotiation.
Dr. Hassan, now, of course, President Donald Trump, as you said, was attempting to pressure Israel, reshaping regional alliances maybe through his attempts or his push. Do you see Washington still able to position itself as a credible mediator in this conflict? Do you see the U.S. currently playing a big role in mediating behind the scenes between Israel and Lebanon?
Yes, I think that was enough is enough. It was a very good start, but to continue, I think it is related to something very important: the real negotiation and the real results between U.S. and Iran. If you know, Iran is helping Hezbollah to continue as one of the cards, and this makes a lot of conflict inside Lebanon between the government and Hezbollah. And if they can settle it, yes, they can settle it. But Lebanon wants ceasefire, so as they can the Israelis are not helping out, because if they are helping out, they would have made the ceasefire so as disarming of Hezbollah could come up with consensus among Lebanese in a very nice way, not in a civil war way. But again, this is priorities are very important. Number one, ceasefire should be there. But again, let us say that the file of Iran-America negotiation is closely connected with what is happening in Washington between Lebanon and Israel.
Absolutely. Dr. Hassan, now, do you see repeated ceasefire extensions beneficial, or do they actually increase instability instead of reducing it?
Well, of course, it is a very legitimate thing. If you'd like to negotiate under fire, it would be mutual. Hezbollah also exchange fire. So I think that there is no real good essence of negotiation when it comes to leaving the fire on like that. I think the Lebanese government claim for having first long-term ceasefire so as they can arrange themselves internally and to achieve a real palpable result on the ground, not to let the Lebanese government embarrassed as the Israelis are doing when they can solve some of the problems. The people who were displaced should return to their places. Things like that should happen so as peace could grow.
Absolutely, Dr. Hassan. Now, let's move a bit to your take on the risks to neighboring countries. If tensions continue escalating, do you see the conflict possibly expanding into broader regional confrontation, for example, involving Syria, possibly Iran, etc.?
Oh, yes, the Syrian factor is another factor here. With the old conflict between Syria and Hezbollah, I mean, it's not on old now. Now, is a new government has an attitude towards Hezbollah. So, and Hezbollah is also having the same thing. I think this will get the whole much more perplexed. I hope this front should be should come to a calm so as Lebanese can concentrate on very problematic situation they are facing actually.
Right. I'm afraid we'll have to leave it at that. We have run out of time. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Dr. Hassan Waguih, our international relations expert. Many thanks, sir, for your time and your insight this morning and for joining us on Nile TV International. That wraps up the morning's edition of The Breakfast Show. You're in the company of myself, Angie Meher. Many thanks for watching. And now, at the top of the hour, we begin the morning's French transmission here on Nile TV International. Do stay tuned.